Colfax, Washington, the homeland of one of the most haunted hospitals ever. And this hospital is very dark and sinister, so sinister that the Chamber of Commerce had to shut the place down because the tour guides and guests were being affected and attacked by those thousands of spirits that so-called hunt this place. And no matter if you think ghost shows are fabricated or fake or not, you got to give these guys props for going into these buildings when it's pitch black and late at night. I wouldn't do that, and it takes a special person to do that, so major props to these guys. And one good thing about this location, every witness that they interviewed claimed that they seen some kind of dark figure, which is always a good thing because you already know that you're going to get some good evidence when people say they see apparitions. And one interesting thing I want to talk about is when Jay interviewed this guy named Jeff. Now, Jeff went into one of the most haunted rooms in the hospital, and he was unable to stand. I think it was room 312. Now, in room 312, it was this guy named Michael, and he was one of the patients, and he was in a wheelchair, and he was very angry, sinister, and uncontrollable. And every time Jeff goes into the room, and he only been in there twice, he was unable to stand, and it almost felt like he was possessed the second time. And on the way home, Jeff claimed that he wanted to bash his friend's skull in. Plus, Aaron claimed to see a figure looking at him. And while all this is going on, so much paranormal activity is going on, and it's overwhelming. So everyone is like, let's get out, let's gather ourselves, let's catch our breath. And this is not even the investigation part. You can just imagine what is going to happen later on in the lockdown. And one interesting thing I want to talk about is when Jay interviewed this guy named Jeff. Now, Jeff went into one of the most haunted rooms in the hospital, and he was unable to stand. I think it was room 312. Now, in room 312, it was this guy named Michael, and he was one of the patients, and he was in a wheelchair, and he was very angry, sinister, and uncontrollable. And every time Jeff goes into the room, and he only been in there twice, he was unable to stand, and it almost felt like he was possessed the second time. And on the way home, Jeff claimed that he wanted to bash his friend's skull in. And that's just a crazy thing to think about, because he's your best friend, and you know that it's not you thinking that, but it's the spirit. And he said that he could physically see him doing it. So, man, whatever was attached to you, I hope you're okay, Jeff, because that's some serious stuff. And I sincerely felt for this guy, and I hope he's okay. Now I want to proceed to talk about the investigation. And you can tell how serious this investigation is because Zach suggests that everyone sticks together, and that almost never happens in Ghost Adventures. So the crew makes their way up to the third floor, and they're already experienced and stuff. They make their way to 312. They try to investigate and stuff is just happening. I think something happened and they moved on to 311. And when they went in room 311, they seen like a peace offering. I think it was like candy or something like that. And then they panned to the wall, and it looked like it was dried up blood just scattered across the wall. And I really wish they would have spent more time trying to figure out what happened in that room, and they just moved on to the next segment. And this next segment was Zach trying to trap Aaron into that room, but that was a funny little thing. And Aaron, he didn't get trapped this time because Aaron grabbed the door just in time, but I thought that was funny. And a lot of things happened on the fourth floor. Aaron was tapped on the shoulder. Zach captured some kind of light through the camera, and Zach also seen some kind of angry person staring at him. So that's twice that somebody done seen an apparition but haven't captured anything yet. Just yet. But we get a glimpse at something attached to Zach, and Zach is acting all crazy, and next thing you know, Zach forces this entity off of him, and next thing you know, it attaches to Billy right away. And you can see it because Billy starts to quiver and shake. And I'm like, wow, I actually seen a transition from a demon. That was crazy. And then they leave Aaron alone. And Aaron freaks out as usual. And while all this is going on, Zach is at Nerve Center. And he lifts up his shirt. And you can see a bruise and a couple of scratches. And Billy tells everyone that he wants to be left alone in the whole entire hospital. And he provokes the spirit and he tries to make verbal contact. And he heard a female voice, and the voice said, "I'm stuck in a crypt." I personally thought that was a great capture. And then after that, the crew enters back into the hospital to take full spectrum pics. and Zach captured a full body apparition. And man, when I tell you this is one of the best captures, probably top 5 in Ghost Adventures history in my opinion. And Zach, I salute you on that because it looks real to me. Let me know down below if you think it's real. Leave a like if you think it's real. Overall, this was a great episode, and an episode that definitely will be remembered and probably go down as one of the best Ghost Adventure episodes in modern times. And it almost reminded me of those old Ghost Adventure episodes back in 2008, 2009, 2010. Hopefully the whole season is like this because I'm very impressed and I can't wait till next week's episode. And I love the fact that Billy took over for a while and he told everyone to fall back and he went to provoke the spirits. And it was just a lot of stuff that went on. From Zach being bruised and scratched, from Aaron being touched on his shoulder, stuff being thrown, and most importantly, a full body apparition was captured. And this is why I became a fan of Ghost Adventures. So let me know down below, what did you think about this location? And give me your thoughts about this episode. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and share this video to build the paranormal community. I want to gather a lot of paranormal fans so we can just discuss and talk paranormal. So yeah, be safe guys. Until the next video. Peace.